Dr. Chuang.
Thank you for the invitations. I will talk about TaiRON. It's a Taiwan Roadkill Observation Network. It's a citizen science project. So I will emphasize the communal data workflow to efficiently collect data observation record from the community and to aggregate and to reuse. If time permits, I will also talk about other collaborative projects I'm involved with. And part of talk I present today is in cooperation with Taiwan and Taipei Species Research Institute and with World Glimmer, a boutique house for web development. So I will talk about these citizen science projects. I will encourage you to check into this website. So this is the site that activity happens that people can upload a picture of the animal on the roads that has been hit by a vehicle or has died by other purpose. And when he upload the picture to the site by his smartphone, and the picture will embedded with time information as well as location information as part of the metadata. So the picture has been uploaded to the site. Our site, TaiRON website, will know the location at the time when this observation has been made. And the site will send a digest to an active Facebook group that has about, I guess right now, 20,000 members. And they will discuss, identify the dead animal. It's not an easy task because the animal has been hit by the vehicle. It's not in a good shape. So you have to, some kind of expertise to identify the animal only by the fragment or some very particular features. So this is the site, like I take this image like 4 years ago. So here we make a query to all the observation record that has been identified to be a kind of a corpora called large ultra enhancer. So they find 261 records. They are distributed all over Taiwan. You can see the density of the observation over Taiwan, and as well as the time, the months of the year, the snake has been observed. As you can see that they pick up in the months of April until late October. So that's the place that the time that the snake are active. So by aggregate this data from the community, we get a sense of understanding of the distribution of this particular kind of species. The one feature I like pretty much is that each member has its own profile page. So when you register account, when you upload your observation record, you can keep track of your contribution to the community. So for me, I made 3 observations in year 2016. They are a mouse, a bird, an owl actually, and a frog. So they are typical animals that happen in this subtropical island called Taiwan. So this is the number about 2 years ago. Until November 2018, we have at about 16,000 participants in the Facebook group. About 4,600 people actually upload photos by their phone to our site. About 10,000 observations and 570 species has been identified. You can see that the coverage of the observation record almost identical to the road network in Taiwan. So we have pretty good coverage. And Linda is my collaborator at the Taiwan and Taipei Species Research Institute. So he initiated this project, but we get into cooperation about 7 years ago to review the information system so that the data can be more efficiently collected And then at the same time, the data can be more into the control of community. Previously, they are using Facebook only to collect this data, but it's not a very good platform to accumulate research data. So we build our own site and only use Facebook group for social interaction. So I would like to mention two applications. One is like the TaiRON has been used to investigate unusual animal deaths. So when you see a large number of birds, dead birds, scattered around farming area, not by hit by a vehicle, use suspicious they die because they get in touch with poison agents like pesticides. So, and if community report this case, we can ask the community to observe more carefully whether there are also similar cases in the area, and then send in a specimen for further tissue analysis. Another one is the monitor of rabies. Rabies. Rabies was thought to be extinct in Taiwan, but several years ago, people observed unusual deaths from the badger on the roadside. They are not killed by the vehicle. They are in one piece, very good shape, but they are dead. But somehow people pick it up and send it to Taiwan NTP Species Registry because they are good candidate for specimen that can be preserved and it's used as educational purpose. So they send in a few, but later people suspect they are they die because of rape. So they look into the all specimen and to understand whether they how this happened and how is the coverage of this disease in the wild. So by going to the help of this community, we get to understand the spread of the disease in Taiwan. And so now come to a crucial questions. So how do we ensure that the body of the animal reach the hand of researcher in good condition? Should we not worry about when the dead body decompose or made into a worse condition in the transportation route from the volunteer to the researcher? Fortunately, in Taiwan, we have very good infrastructure. We have about 10,000 convenience stores. So the volunteer can walk into the convenience store. If he has the dead animal package in an airtight wrap in the airtight packages, and there are environmental control courier can ship this package in frozen or low temperature condition and reach the research institute in the center of Taiwan. And by this way, they collect lots of specimens. And the total number, the accumulated number until year 2014, they receive almost 3,000 packages in total. So you can expect for every week they receive 1 or 2 packages. So they have a very rich collection of the specimen in Taiwan, and the cost is quite low. So by going to the help of this communal effort, we get to assemble a large specimen. So by this work, last year, the TaiRON project, as a sea science project, actually received an award from the National Agricultural Award ceremony, sponsored by the Council of Agriculture. And here is TaiRON. He's the leader of this team. And 7 years ago, we get into cooperation because we received a grant from its institutes to redesign the entire information system to build a communal data workflow. So, at the beginning, researchers from Biodiversity Research Center also get involved. so it's a cross-cutting cooperation. Okay, so this is one example of collaboratory data project. I will talk another example. So you can take picture of the animal. You can also take picture of your daily environment, right? So we work with the museum to collect picture of our everyday life that has been impacted by pandemic. And this is very useful to for the historian to understand the memory, the collective memory of the society that interact, face the pandemic. So here you can see people are taking picture when they get a mask from the drugstore, or a medical nurse or doctor, they put on their protective gear in a hospital. So actually, we learned a lot of lessons from the most successful collaborative data project, which is Wikipedia. If you look at it, you will find out the content is open license. It's a CC attribution share alike, so everybody can reuse that content, and enrichment to the content also belong to the community, so to speak. And we use Wikipedia use MediaWiki, which is open source package. So people can review their service by using this open source programs, and also reuse the content together. And the Wikipedia is a very successful service because the service, the quality of the service is very good. So it depends on the computer facility, network, technical expertise, and the unique resource, because they have a large user community. By the amount of donation, they are able to sustain this service. And the user are coordinated by nonprofit foundations. There are other collaboratory data projects like OpenStreetMap, like Wikidata, and I do not have time to go into that, but I will encourage you to look at this project to learn more. And I will spend 1 minute to talk about a project we are working on called Deposita. It's a research data repository for all. So any project you can apply for account and to deposit your research data, and you will be discovered by others, even they do not know of this data repository. Deposita is a Portuguese term for deposit, so you can deposit research data here. And for example, you go to data, if you go to Google dataset search and put you some keyword, as long as the keyword appear in the metadata description of your data set, and you can find that people can find your data set. Okay, thank you. That's what I can share today.